Hey everybody, it's Ginger Pete. I'm here today to talk to you about Covenant and the 144 class subclass customizations that we're going to get to enjoy in Shadowlands via this Covenant system. And I'm also interested in discussing role-playing and its history as a necessary part or an impediment or a prerequisite for player power. If you look through the most popular times in this game's history in Classic, player choice was things like Bloodsail Buccaneers versus Gadgeton, or maybe that was Booty Bay. Or it was Goblin versus Gnomish Engineering. Or, the peak of it, Scryers versus Alder. And actually, one of the biggest removals of RP from player power, or potential player power, is what happened in TBC when they made shamans and paladins non-faction specific. An intensely popular decision across the gaming community, other than by role players. And so, we find ourselves here, 16 years into this game's life, facing a random reinstitution of role-playing behind player power. Now, there's a little bit of precedent for this in Legion. The Legion artifact weapon system seems like it would have driven me insane. I didn't play in Legion. I played a little bit of WoD. Pexus Crystal role-playing guys, huh? Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. You my guy. So, Legion. Let's talk. The Legion artifact weapon system. For me, Ginger Pete, the hunter, I like playing survival. When I'm playing solo, I like playing survival. I like getting in there, like Harpoon, love the idea of it. For some reason, Blizzard doesn't give a crap to fix Harpoon with bosses. Survival's uptime is pretty garbage, and if you can't get a nice coordinated assault off, you're not going to get a raid spot. So, I like to main BM. And so in Legion, I'm leveling up my survival artifact, I'm having fun, this, that, and the other thing, and all of a sudden, boom, here I go. Oh, I gotta switch to BM for raid. All of a sudden, I am 5 weeks behind on my BM artifact. I need to level it up, I need to unlock sockets. Is that fun? Am I going to enjoy going back and having to re-level my BM or marksman artifact weapons? I sincerely don't feel like that would be an enjoyable process. That seems like it would be awful. I don't like doing world quests. I'm in this for Mythic Plus and I'm in this for raiding. That's what I enjoy. So now I have to go and I have to do, to be able to raid, to be able to get a raid spot, I have to play BM. So I get to go back, I get to level, I get to do world quests, I get to go to Suramar, I get to do whatever it is that you do in Legion. I assume cry while demons stab you. Which ironically is what world quests feel like. In BFA, for the least, at the least, whatever it may be. So all this roleplay. I'm role-playing as a spec. I'm role-playing as a class. That is masquerading as part of a spec, but really I don't have a choice. If I want to raid at a cutting-edge level, I'm forced into a meta. I'm forced into BM. I'm forced into MM, depending on what the tier is. So if I want to play Serve in my spare time, either my Serve spec is going to be dog crap, right? Or I'm going to play BM. Which sucks. There's no player choice. There's no player agency. My identity is not there. I'm not role-playing as the class. I'm being forced into a meta. And that's not my guild, that's not my raid team that's forcing me into a meta. That is a game deciding that after 12 years of being a very productive franchise, that all of a sudden your spec should be tied to an intense amount of progression that is punishing and when you try to switch away from it. So, 144 class subclass mixtures. These utility abilities, Venthyr, Night Fae, Necrolords, Kyrian, are intensely powerful. We can't really get a good idea on how powerful they're going to be in raids, because it's going to change. A big shield might be a big buff in some things. Kyrian might be a giant buff because every single boss is a bleed, surprise, surprise. And that loofah trinket you find back in vanilla doesn't work anymore. Much to my chagrin. Otherwise it would be Biss. And so there are those abilities, and then there are these offensive abilities on top. And there's been a lot of like back and forth of like how are these going to be balanced, like we'll talk about the BM thing in specific, but one of the things that they talked about was conduits are going to help make your spell more balanced in different scenarios, so that way it's not as punishing when you try to do a little bit off meta content. And the reality is that these conduits have not made fail completely to actually allow you to do that other content. Right now we have the Venthyr ability, I believe it's Lacerating Shot, that it drops a bleed, and then every tick of the bleed gives you a chance to be able to use your execute. Kill shot. Boom. Right? And so the conduit for this, the conduit that modifies this, gives you another 5% chance on every little tick of that bleed to get another execute. But let's say I'm in my Mythic Plus run, and I'm shooting off, I'm doing my Beast Cleave rotation, and I have to drop this in there because I have to keep it on cooldown, because, you gotta play optimally. And in the middle of this big AoE cooldown, I'm hitting Beast Cleave, I'm doing my kill command, I'm getting stuff off, I'm shooting barb shots in there, getting my pet's pound off, and then all of a sudden, I just have this single target ability. So 1, there's no class fantasy there. 2, there's no synergy there. 3, there's no conduit there to help ease any of that, right? So, the obvious answer for Mythic Plus is to go Necrolord. You have some buffs that you can pick up. From you get a big shield that you can pick up that helps hunters a lot. You can get and then you get Chakram, which gives you some passive focus. And so any hunter will tell you if you're in that cleave rotation, it's not a when if your focus is going to run out. It's a when. If you're playing any kind of aggressively, if you're just sitting back doing multi-shot and kill shot on cooldown with the occasional barb shot, then yeah, you're going to be fine. But if you're trying to play any kind of aggressive, be aggressive with a cooldown reduction from Cobra shot, it's tough. It's tough. It's not. You're running out of focus. And so adding that Chakram in there gives a big burst of AoE damage, hits every single target that it catches in its path, and then it gives you a boatload of focus. So you're just hammering more things, and that works in. And that's synchronous. But in a single target, you throw a Chakram at it, it's not doing anywhere near the damage that 3 or 4 executes are going to do. So, and there's you look at the conduit for Necrolords. I'll put it up on the screen. It's okay, but it's not going to make it powerful in single target. It's not going to make it anywhere near competitive with all these extra executes. So now I'm locked. I enjoy playing Mythic Plus. I enjoy playing raiding. My prime responsibility is to my is to my raiding guild. I have to be Venthyr. But you know what I enjoy doing in my spare time? Playing keys. Where I gotta be Necrolord if I really want to get into a group. If I want to play optimally. Here I am. So now I can't play the class that I want to play in the content that I want to play because I am locked behind an RP wall and a grind wall. Not a grind wall like the Alder Scryer rep, which is 34,000 Basilisks, followed by 240 Firewing Signets, and then another 90 Arcane Tomes. No, not nearly that bad. But a significant 2-week grind wall just to switch over. And that's assuming that I'm going to be running with a pre-made group, where we're going to have, for the dungeons that we want to do, we're going to have the appropriate Covenant abilities ready and at our disposal. Because these Covenant abilities, these Covenant bonuses in these dungeons are intensely powerful. One is 3 minutes of Bloodlust. 3 minutes of Bloodlust. What? One is 10-second AoE stun. Can you imagine what MDI is going to do with that? And and this is the way that World of Warcraft is. You can try to fight your nature, right? And this is what they're trying to do with the system. You can try to fight your nature and say that, well, the meta shouldn't be established. There shouldn't be a meta. And so we're going to make it very difficult for there to be a meta. There will be a meta, and it will be enforced very strictly by the community because they want to play the exact optimal thing, even if they themselves are not optimal players. So I either have to play my absolute most optimal if I'm playing with a pre-made, or if I want to play with pugs, then I have to pay attention. If I want to go to one of these dungeons that has a bonus, that has a game-breaking bonus, like this Hut Lust thing, and the other 4 people in the pug are not in the covenant that would provide that bonus, then they're going to be looking for me or for the pug that would fill my shoes to be that specific covenant. So, not only do I have to be the right class that they're looking for, not only do I have to be the right spec that they're looking for, I now have to be the right covenant that they're looking for. Regardless of what's optimal for me, what's optimal for my class, what's even fun to play. It's going to be the meta is going to dictate to me what my class needs to be to do this dungeon, if I want to pug it. Or if I want to pug it consistently. If I want to target a piece of gear and go after it in a dungeon. And I find that intensely frustrating. I find that my single target, I find that, that the lack of adaptability in the abilities, other than a few outliers in the covenant abilities, is to be deeply frustrating. I find the lack of creative conduits to be very frustrating. I find that the soulbind grinding and the punishment for switching between different covenants to be intensely frustrating. And so I'm not sure what to do. The solution to this is easy for me, is to go with the grace of the Mawwalker theory, is to say that we are the mortals who have been able to traverse the Maw, a place from which souls cannot escape without our intervention. So, why should we not be able to just deal with this as another talent row? It's been 2 X-Packs since we've had another talent row. Put it in there. Have it be 4. Have it be a special Shadowlands thing. It's gonna be great. But make it a choice for us. Please. Allow us to play all this different type of content. If you want to lock a Plants vs. Zombies, or if you want to put a Bejeweled Blitz game behind, a Vampire Party with Edward Cullen, man, be my guest. I'd be so happy. And most of the people I know who are big role players or enjoy those little mini games like the pet battles, whatever it is, they're going to be overjoyed and they're going to enjoy it so much. But for me, doing my Vampire Party every week so that I can make sure my lacerating shot does enough damage is going to drive me up a wall. It's not going to be engaging or fun gameplay for me. You're just forcing me and people like me into a type of content that we don't care about to achieve an ends that is massively important to us. So Ian, please, make it the last talent row. Don't make me play vampire parties. Don't make me grind vampire parties and play a gardening and play Farmville just so I can get into the Mythic Plus Pug that will allow me a shot at one of my best pieces. Please. I want to thank you very much for watching. Again, I'm Ginger Pete, twitch.tv/Ginger Pete Gaming. I like to stream weekday evenings. And yeah. I really hope that you join me over there on Twitch and that we can enjoy it.